Chairperson.
So before we move on to the academic committee, I just want to welcome, we had some guests come in that I would like to recognize. Our Secretary of Education, Jacob Olives, joined us this morning. Thank you for coming in. I believe he's joined with Ms. Courtney Salas Ford, the Department of Education Chief of Staff, and Sarah Kimmeny, the Education Policy Advisor for the Governor's Office. Thank y'all for being here today. So I am now going to turn it over to the academic committee.
Okay, thank you, Chair Bigger. Before we meet, I wanted just to ask you, when you go home today, pick up the new Arkansas Democrat Gazette today and read the editorial entitled Creeping Problems. It is a very interesting editorial about this industry. And you will find that I think 98% of it I was in total agreement with. Very, very well-written piece on higher ed. Okay, I'll call the academic committee to order. And we have a couple of action items and then some information items, but we'll begin with action item number 4, a new program, an Associate of Applied Science and Medical Laboratory Technician by Northwest Arkansas Community College. And Mr. Mason Campbell is going to talk to us about that.
Thank you, Dr. Carr. Yes, the proposed 70 to 71 credit hour program will prepare students for a career in clinical laboratories by combining theoretical knowledge and hands-on training and diagnostic testing in areas such as hematology, chemistry, microbiology, immunology, and blood and fluid analysis. Graduates will be equipped with the skills needed to work in hospitals, in clinics, and diagnostic labs, and contributing to diagnostic and patient care through precise and reliable lab work. The program will be taught by one full-time faculty member who will serve as a program director and will also be supported by adjunct faculty. Existing resources will be utilized. Some additional program-related equipment will be sought from local industry and some vendors. Regarding program need, medical laboratory technician positions have increased 3.5% over the past 10 years in Benton and Washington counties. Currently, there are 17 positions unfilled, with an additional 30 projected openings over the next 2 to 5 years. Both annual salaries and annual wages are strong. Similar programs exist at 5 other community colleges in Arkansas. Projected initial enrollment is 16 students by AY 26, with 15 projected initial graduates by academic year 2026 also. And Northwest Arkansas Community College representatives are here to speak to your consideration.
Good morning. My name is Diana Johnson. I'm the Senior Vice President of Learning. We're joined today by Dean Mark Wallenmeyer, our Dean of Health Professions, and Chris Gilbreth, who is with Children's Hospital Northwest. We developed this degree plan along with our industry partners with Whole Health Institute in Northwest Arkansas and our Northwest Arkansas Council. This was the #1 training opportunity that they thought we needed in Northwest Arkansas at the time. So what questions do you have for us?
So I had a couple of questions on it. Can you kind of walk me through, this is where I really miss Al Brodell being on the board because he was always my healthcare person. Can you kind of walk me through the pathway for these students? Because looking at the median wages of Northwest Arkansas and then what this program would offer, students coming out of it would be right at that median wage or even a little below in some cases based on the employer surveys. So we want to make sure that there's room for growth from them, you know, from an academic standpoint and career standpoint. Can you kind of walk me through what that pathway looks like for a lot of students?
Yes, and so Mark Wallenmeyer, Dean of Health Professions. Students will start out, one of the prerequisites is phlebotomy. That is an accreditation standard that they have to have. So they can work as a phlebotomist as they go through it and make a little bit of money to help pay for tuition and stuff. Once they have graduated and are certified as a medical laboratory technician, they can go into the field and work. Average starting salaries around $55,000. Now we're seeking 2+2 agreements with other 4-year universities in the state. and region. And so once they have graduated, we will move them into, or hopefully move them into the MLS degree, which is medical laboratory scientist.
So, and will they be able, the 2+2 agreements that you're seeking, are those gonna be online programs or are they gonna be able to do those locally?
Should be able to do both.
Okay.
U of A, I don't believe has an MLS program. The closest one is UAMS. But from the information that I have, they should be able to complete probably 90% of that online.
There are 5 other institutions offering a similar program in the state.
Correct. That's either medical laboratory technician or medical laboratory scientist. In order to be the medical laboratory scientist, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to go through MLT first and get that degree. The MLS is a bachelor's degree, so it's a little bit higher requirement. The closest one to us is actually in Harrison.
And then you're looking at 15 projected graduates for 2025, 2026. And I know that there's 17 openings right now according to employer surveys, but you were projecting only about 30 over the next few years. I mean, are you concerned about having too many students being out in the market or?
Do that. Well, and those are certainly conservative estimates.
Okay.
Yeah, because honestly, we've got an aging workforce. We're losing a lot of our workers to retirement here in the next few years. So it's probably going to be higher than that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I can tell you right now, our biggest challenge is meeting the labor force needs that we have. That 17 represents about a 12% opening. And we're just really struggling.
We just want to make sure that, if we're making a promise to these students and they're paying a premium to go through the program, especially that there's going to be something waiting for them at the end of it and a pathway for the future as well. So, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, do I hear a motion to recommend the full board approval of the Associate of Applied Science in Medical Laboratory Technician? Is that what it's called? Not technology technician? Okay. Bundle of West Arkansas Community College. So move. A second?
Second.
Okay.
Thank you all.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Action item number 5. This is a good one. Doctorate of Philosophy in Forest Resources at the University of Arkansas at Monticello. And Mason will tell us about that too.
Thank you, Dr. Carr. This agenda item is up for a second reading. It was also read and discussed at the October 24 board meeting for informational purposes. This is due to a very specific change process for institutions proposing a role and scope change. The University of Arkansas at Monticello proposes a change to its role and scope to include the offering of doctoral programs with the creation of a doctoral philosophy in forest resources as its inaugural program. Arkansas has never offered a PhD in forest resources and has been entirely reliant on doctoral programs from other states. This program will be offered by UAM's College of Forestry, Agriculture, and Natural Resources, which also houses the Arkansas Forest Resource Center of the University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture, which provides funding for research that will support the delivery of the program. The proposed program will require 72 post-baccalaureate credit hours, of which a minimum of 48 will be coursework and up to 24 hours of credit for research. Additionally, the degree requirements include the completion of an entrance seminar, comprehensive exams, a dissertation, one semester of instruction of lower level undergraduate course or lab, and a dissertation defense. Over the first 5 years, UAM expects to enroll at least 14 students into the proposed doctorate program. Existing resources, facilities, research equipment, and funding will be used to support the offering of the program. No new costs are associated with this offering. Labor market information indicates modest annual job growth at state and national levels, with annual salaries ranging from $76,000 to $82,000. As previously stated, there are no similar courses in the state. Projected initial enrollment is 2 students by AY of 26, with overall cumulative enrollment of 13 students by AY 30. Projected initial graduates are 2 by AY 29 with up to 5 by AY 30. And this concludes the second reading, and UAM representatives have a brief proposal or a brief presentation for the board's consideration.
Good morning. I'm Peggy Dawson. I'm the Chancellor at UAM, and it is indeed an honor to have this opportunity to present a proposal for your consideration for a change in our role and scope and to include our first PhD program at the University of Arkansas at Monticello. So I'd like to take this opportunity, though, just to share with you just a little bit about our institution. So over the decades, the University of Arkansas at Monticello has very deliberately and very consistently adapted to meet the needs of our region, the needs of our state, the needs of our community, and the needs of the state of Arkansas. We began as a small institution and primarily focused on undergraduate education, but we've expanded our role over the years significantly. Today, UAM students have a very clear and a very structured pathway for their education. We actually created a degree pathway back in 2019 for our students. So there were multiple entrance and exit ramps for them along the way. We have 2 colleges of technology that are a part of our degree offerings, one at Crossett and one at McGee. And we offer technical certificate programs all the way through master's degrees for our students. We also have a robust adult education program on our campus. So we literally have students who graduate from adult education and can enter either one of our technical certificate programs if that's their choice, which are short-term and longer-term programs, or they can begin our bachelor's degree. And we've had, I'll share a story with you that our Dean of the School of Nursing has a PhD in nursing education, and she started with a technical certificate. So that just shows you the kind of pathways that one can have, and we're providing that opportunity for our students. We have, as I said, a range of degree of offerings for our students that are designed to work the workforce needs of Arkansas and our community. We have been fully committed to providing access to higher education for our students, but we're not simply just a place where students come to complete a degree. And I want to share with you again that importance of our wrapping around services to make sure our students are successful at whatever level they're performing. In addition to our diverse degree offerings, UAM is poised to be a leader in workforce development in this state and beyond. And we are asking for your consideration today because we have expanded our offerings so much, and now we need to move to an additional level for you to approve a role and scope change for us to be able to move even further into our offerings, which is to offer the PhD in forest resources. We're home to the only school of forestry in the state of Arkansas and in the surrounding regions. And this makes us not only unique, but we think we're a pretty invaluable asset to Arkansas. As many of you know, we recently received state funding to build a $16.8 million forestry health research center on our campus, and it's in process right now of being built. This will be a research center that will be one of a kind in the southeastern part of the United States. And it's an area for cutting edge research in forest management, forest health, and sustainable practices. We know who we are and we know what we lean into. And we know that forest education is one of our strengths. We're a leader in that education and research, not just in Arkansas, but across the nation. So given these developments, it makes sense to us, and I hope to you as well, that our infrastructure, our faculty expertise, and our institutional capacity is there to be able to offer these courses in the PhD program. And that also it is indicative, of course, that we have the role and scope change to be able to accommodate that. So I'm conscious of my time and their time. I have 2 individuals with me who are the experts in this area. I have with me Dean Michael Blazer, who is the Dean of the College of Forestry, Ag and Natural Resources, Dr. Matt Pelkey, who is the Director of the Arkansas Forestry Business Center, and I'd like to give them just a few minutes as well to share information about this very important request that we're making. Thank you. Dr. Blazer.
Thank you.
Well, certainly appreciate y'all's consideration of this today. Putting this forward was was what we see as a kind of a natural evolution of our college. As Dr. Doss mentioned, we've had an infusion of extra resources that provide us more teaching and research capacity. Starting 4 years ago with our partnership with the Five Oaks Ag Research and Education Center for wetlands and waterfowl work. Then 3 years ago with the Center for Forest Business, last year with our Forest Health Research Center. And along the way, we've been picking up extra endowments that fund research and education for waterfowl through state funding and through Ducks Unlimited most recently. So we're now at 20 faculty in our college, engaged in all different disciplines of natural resources and teaching we have 119 graduate hours eligible for application to this degree. They're very productive in research. They're bringing in $6 million of grants at the moment. And as mentioned, we have an ongoing partnership with with the Division of Agriculture. In terms of return on investment, national studies show that forest research programs that include doctoral research have a ninefold return on investment. So every dollar invested returns $9 in economic activity through lifetime career earnings, the fact that those PhDs become educators and bring up the workforce themselves, and through the innovations that are developed through that, the most advanced research possible through doctoral work. So don't want to belabor the point and be sensitive to everybody's time, but I think that's really exciting about this is with a PhD in place, our college will be poised to serve all sectors of the forestry and natural resources workforce. We were a recent recipient of a hired grant from the governor's office that we'll be using to create technical certificates to help the logging and mill workforce. We already have associate's degrees in place for folks that want to take a technician type career path, bachelor's degrees for the professionals, grad certificates and master's degrees for specialization, and with a PhD, we send people into research development and education careers, and there's feedbacks in both directions on that, in that every course taken for the lower level degree applies to the upper degree, and then when you get to the PhD level, those students are actually helping teach those lower level classes and serving the teaching and research needs of all those degrees there. So, thank you.
Would you like to say anything?
Yes, I would just add, Dr. Matthew Pelkey, UAM College of Forestry, Ag and Natural Resources. With the new hired grant, we're going to be starting programs for workforce badges and associate's degrees in forest technology, what would be called a Sustainable Trades Institute. We'll actually be able to have a very similar situation to our nursing degree program where a student might come in out of high school or even during high school and get a workforce badge in advanced drone technology with applications to natural resources. Eventually, they may go on and get an associate's degree, but that workforce badge can be accumulated with other workforce badges to get college credit, which could be part of their bachelor's, their master's, and even a doctorate program. So we'll have those on and off pathways all the way through the forestry program to upscale labor forces at all levels. So I want to thank you for your time and your opportunity. This is going to be a real workforce multiplier for all of us in the faculty at UAM. Thank you.
Are there questions from anybody besides me? Question for you, and I'm real partial to this. I'm a timber owner on the side, so I appreciate what you're doing. I know you've got a lot of forestry related businesses in your part of the state, and I'm sure they're supporting this. Are they helping you financially in this regard too?
Yes, they are. They're research partners for us. Sometimes they provide research funding. We've also, some of the endowments that we have were actually provided by private industry. So we have a lot of partners, and Matt, I'd like you to. Yeah, sure. All right.
Sure. In terms of direct financial support, the Center for Forest Business is already receiving monies from Highland Pellets. We've got cooperative agreements with Drax and Weyerhaeuser and Canfor. And all of those institutions are also in many more: Wilson Brothers Logging, Wilson Sawmill. We're looking at Interfor Corporation are part of this hired grant in terms of helping us develop these new curriculum so that our workers at both the baccalaureate level, the workforce badge level, the associate's level, and the master's level are going to be meeting the needs of those industries.
And out of curiosity, where are the nearest other PhD programs in this area?
Forestry PhDs nearest to our campus would be Mississippi State. There's an environmental science kind of PhD program at LSU, similar in Missouri. And then also Texas has Stephen F. Austin that has a doctoral program there.
And they have no trouble attracting students.
No, not, absolutely not. In fact, it's kind of a recruiting boost, really. When you're a doctoral level program, you're seen as kind of an upper tier program, and yeah, and in fact, I think it's helpful there that then the students at the undergrad levels realize their professors weren't baked in a lab somewhere. They actually see that progression in studies, and they can actually see themselves going down that path more easily.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I've got a
Yes.
question. So kind of looking at the curriculum for this, I was really interested in it because you've got several business classes, finance, appraisal, supply chain management, things of that nature. So when students are coming out of this program, are they more geared towards research and teaching, or is it going to also be geared towards positions in private businesses in the area?
Well, that's one of the beauties of it, is that we have a curriculum model that, because this is such a high field of specialization, you know, those students are coming in on a research project. They're being paid a stipend as an assistant to the professor they're studying closest with. So they can navigate the curriculum to specialize, to focus on the career path they want to take. So yeah, some will go through there and be more business focused, but some will be more natural resources focused.
I just wanted to make sure that there was that kind of opening for either direction. depending on
Yes,
student
that's the strength of the program there, is being able to specialize.
And I was gonna just kind of add that, I ran into one of the folks that provided a letter of support for this program this week and talked to them about it, and they were incredibly excited. And they're also one of the folks that are gonna be endowing part of this.
Wonderful.
And so it's one thing for someone to give you a letter of support, but it's a whole nother thing for them to put money behind it
Right.
to really show that. So
Yes.
I just wanted you to know that you have partners that are very excited.
Oh, and
about
we're
this.
very blessed by that. Yes, thank you.
I think Mr. Wilson, who's supporting this, he's being put up for the Arkansas Agricultural Hall of Fame this week. I believe that's right. Yeah.
Just a comment, sir.
Yes, comment.
I just want to comment on, I don't usually do this, but I just want to comment, UAM and how clear these pathways are and how directly aligned they are. We do see a lot of pathways, and we want other opportunities for our students, but this is really delineated very well. And I think it shows that off ramps and on ramps, if someone wants to step out and get a job at this level, but also that next layer. So well done. I appreciate that. Also, I want to just mention that, you know, the higher grants, which are a partnership between us, Department of Commerce, and also with the governor's investment in the center. It's really, we see state funding braided together, a commitment by the school to a profession and industry that's germane to who they are and their history. So well done. Appreciate that.
Any other questions for our
Yeah, I
friends
have,
from
I have a
Monticello?
question, Jim.
Dr. Cash.
What are the program qualifications for a student to enroll in this program? Academically, what are they supposed to be
Okay.
capable of doing?
Okay, we look at things, you know, the application package, we're looking at their GPA, 2.7 minimum, 3.0 preferred over the last 60 hours of their undergrad degree. Now, that's if somebody were to come in with a bachelor's degree, but the majority of students that would come in would be coming in with a master's degree. So we would also have that transcript from those students and looking at, you know, at having nothing less than a B at a master's level student. And then we also ask them for a statement of their research interests, their teaching interests, so we can kind of gauge how they match with a mentor that they'll be studying with for a 3 to 4 year period closely with a faculty member.
So there's no national general test like the GRE or
Well,
anything
actually,
like that.
I'm glad you brought that up. We do allow faculty members, if they choose to do so, to ask for a GRE. We don't require it across the board. That's a recent change because we're aligning with what's happening with other programs. Some are kind of doing away with the GRE because it's been seen as not a perfect gauge of aptitude for carrying on a graduate degree. I guess, yeah, and we also have a very detailed interview process with those candidates. There's a lot of back and forth to feeling out how good a fit they'll be and how well they can communicate. That's a very, very important part of a research specialization.
How many students currently are enrolled in forestry, selecting forestry as a degree at Monticello?
Okay, at the bachelor's level, we have about 70 students right now in natural resources. At the master's level, we have about 20. We're at 27, and we have 7 graduate certificate students in all. When you sum up all our existing degrees.
And how many master's degree students have you turned out in the last 2 years?
In the last 2 years, we've produced about 45.
45?
Yeah, we're graduating about somewhere between 15 to 20 a year.
And they've all found employment without.
That's correct. About a third of them go on to go do a PhD, but the others are going into industry. Ducks Unlimited has hired a lot of our grad certificate students in the Waterfowl program, for example. Also a national, federal agency, state agency position. Oh, yes. One thing that a lot of our students profit from is that there's a lot of internship opportunities out there now. In fact, there's so many of them that we in our college host our own career fair each semester. And those students are paired with internships, and generally they'll work a couple or 3 summers before they finish their bachelor's degree and step right into the company they've been working for. In fact, Weyerhaeuser, for one, finds that to be their optimal model. They don't, at this point, they don't really do cold call kind of solicitations for positions. They're growing their people through those internship programs. And I know we've got 2 students in those intern programs right now.
And since you're looking at a PhD, are there any foreign languages required for the degree?
No, but they do have to have a TOEFL score that shows that they have good English proficiency before they could be admitted to our program.
Any other questions? Well, like Northwest Arkansas Community College, you guys did a great job. I'm impressed. Can I get a motion to present this to the full board, this PhD program in forestry resources? So moved. Got a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposition? Thank you very much. Information items number 6 and 7, Arkansas Public Institution Letters of Notification and Letters of Intent. And Ms. Tracy Harrell is going to tell us about that.
Morning. Agenda item number 6 of the letters of notification received since the October 24 board meeting. Letters of notification are reasonable and moderate extension of existing approved certificates and degrees. They have been approved by the Commissioner of AHECB, but must be included in your board agenda prior to initiation. As you can see here, 20 institutions submitted letters of notification requesting 142 actions that affected 112 unique programs of study. The full comprehensive breakdown of the letters of notification are listed in your board book. This is not an agenda, this is not an action item, but I will be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions on this information item? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. Action item number 8, Alana Colburn.
Number 7.
One more. She's got
Oh, one more, okay.
Sorry, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse-
Agenda item
Same
number
set.
7 for the
My
letters of
apologies.
intent. received since October. These are notifications of institutions' plans to offer a new degree, a new off-campus location or establishment of a new organizational unit. We had 9 letters of intent received in the Academic Affairs Office. So this is the summary of those that were received. Again, this is not a voting item, but I will happily answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions on this information item, number 7? Thank you very much. Alana is going to talk to us about action item number 8, out-of-state and Arkansas private institutions.
And then item number 8 lists the institutions and out-of-state institutions that are requesting approval for 14 degree programs. Do you have any questions?
Any questions from anyone on that? No questions. Okay, can I get a motion to recommend the approval of the out-of-state Arkansas private and I guess out-of-state Arkansas private institution resolution? Can I get a motion for that? So moved. Thank you very much. Second? Second? All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you very much.
Mhm.
And Ms. Colburn's going to also talk to us about information items number 9 and 10.
Agenda item number 9 is the listing of the out-of-state and Arkansas private institutions, letters of notifications. These are the requests for reapproval or recertification of the programs that have been approved in the past. And there are also listings of the requests for changes, minor changes in programs.
Is there an increase in the number of institutions out of state requesting?
No, I would say no. Not that I can tell.
Not an
Mhm.
increase.
No, I think there's probably a decrease.
Decrease?
Mhm, yes.
Okay.
And I'll be presenting a report later on about that. So, sir.
Any other questions? You know, this has always been a little bit of a concern to me that we have these institutions coming in and I know by law we require, we have some agreement. But I wish we had the number of students that are involved in these programs. Maybe we may have that.
Yes.
So some of our schools in this room can say, hey, we could teach that better than these guys. Let's keep them in state.
Mhm. Yes, and I have that information in my report later about the number of students.
Okay. Any more questions? Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Number 9.
And number,
10.
I'm sorry, number 10
Yes.
is the letters of intent from these institutions out of state and Arkansas private institutions.
You all have seen this in your minutes. Any questions? Thank you very much. Do I hear a motion to adjourn the Academic Affairs Committee? So moved. Second. Okay. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposition? Okay, thank you very much, Madam Chair.